Building materials and technologies are changing and advancing. We are seeing a lot of improvements, new material, new fire ratings, and if you do not work in that specific field, it may be hard to keep up with that. That is why it is good that we have categorized building codes with the National Fire Protection Association to define the various types of building construction. We do this using combustibility and fire resistance ratings. This makes it easier for, say, a firefighter to be able to understand and have a basic basis for grading a building's structural elements. This standard lists 5 different types of constructions under which new buildings will be classified. We have fire resistive, non-combustible, ordinary, heavy timber, and wood framed. They are divided into 5 types. So we would have fire resistant type 1. This type of construction uses non-combustible materials such as concrete or steel. This has a high level of fire resistance. It is designed to contain fires and prevent them from spreading to other parts of the structure. Next, of course, we have type 2. This is our non-combustible construction. This type of construction uses materials that are not easily ignited. These are materials such as steel or masonry or concrete. This is designed to provide the structure with some level of fire resistance, though not as much resistance as type 1 construction. Moving on, we have type 3. This would be ordinary construction. This type of construction uses materials such as wood, brick, or concrete. It is designed to have some fire resistance, but the materials used are combustible. Type 4 would be our heavy timber construction. This type of construction uses large timber, at least 8 inches thick. These timbers are closely spaced and are designed to withstand fire without collapsing. The last type of construction would be our wood frame construction. This is type 5. This construction uses wood framing and sheathing materials. This is the most common type of construction. It is used in residential buildings, but is also used in some commercial buildings. This provides the least amount of fire resistance among the 5 types of construction. Starting back with type 1, these are the reinforced concrete buildings, the ones we would typically see as high-rise residential or commercial buildings. They have the highest level of protection from fire. The structural materials are non-combustible. The materials such as the walls and the floors and the ceilings are able to resist fire for several hours. This type of construction is expected to remain stable, structurally stable, during fire, and is considered to be the most collapse resistant. One notable weakness of this type of construction is that the roofs are extremely difficult to penetrate, making ventilation really difficult for firefighters. Additionally, material that may have been used during construction may have been made from plastic, which produces a fume and would require ventilation. The windows may be difficult to open for ventilation as well, and the wide open floor plans can facilitate smoke travel and rapid fire spread depending on the contents within the building. Type 2 building construction is much the same, though with Type 2, the metal used to build these types of building is an unprotected style, which does make this construction type more prone to early collapse. Some of the materials used for roofing may be highly flammable and can even lead to a separate fire above or below the roof. This can produce a flammable vapor, which makes the fire easy to spread. With building type 3, this is the type we may see in older schools or businesses, older businesses, or older residential structures. One issue with this building type is that oftentimes we may see these buildings change their use or occupancy standards, which results in additional loads that the building was not designed for. Building type 4 may actually take firefighting efforts into account, and we may see drains in these buildings, which is a feature that reduces water weight and helps to reduce the collapse potential. We may see some additional hazards here, such as excessive fire load of stock manufacturing processes or finished goods. We may see oil-soaked floors from machinery use. Alterations can create concealed spaces, which can be confusing. Unprotected metal components and metal joint connections can fail. Once the fire in a construction type like this has passed its initial stage, it is very difficult to control, and it can burn for a long period of time. The last type of construction, type 5, this is what we would see in single or multi-family dwellings. These are pretty flammable. The interior walls are likely made of plaster or drywall, which is highly combustible. They are likely made of solid lumber throughout. These materials will burn. Older buildings, not well maintained, may have a lot of damage that can complicate things, such as termites, water damage, otherwise just dilapidation of the house that can increase the risk of collapse. Renovations are common in older structures, which again can complicate things. As a firefighter, being aware of the different construction types will serve you well when responding to structure fires. Each type has its own set of hazards. Understanding the likelihood of collapse, as well as being aware of the potential for hazardous fumes, as well as the potential for increased smoke production or inhalation. Being aware of these sorts of things will serve you well as a firefighter in keeping yourself safe and your community. God bless.